So my fuel is running out and I'm on 0 miles according to my little computer. Let's hope that it doesn't run out and I get stranded in the middle of nowhere, because we literally are in the middle of nowhere. So the problem is, when you don't really know where you're going, you just have to use your spidey senses. And today my spidey senses were tingling the right way. So this is always a good sign when it says no diving and no swimming. So we found Buckety Spout.
Finally!
Now we just need to scope out the best place to do some filming. That's going to
including safety.
Including safety. So the decision has been made to put the pups back into the cars, because that river is pretty fast, it's pretty deep, and it's just not worth the risk. So sad to say, bye bye puppies.
Creepy.
Oh, it's a gate.
Why's there only a gate on one side?
Because it's not a dungeon, mate. Are they trying to keep something in or us out?
That's your classic horror movie line, right?
Yeah.
So we're down in this lovely... Do you know what's funny, when you're in a tranquil environment, it's peaceful, you don't want to raise your voice.
I know. Peaceful environments create more peace, right?
Yeah.
So we've been having a discussion, because of, recently we've come up with these cool little goals of I want to be Batman
And I want to be Bane.
So within me wanting to be Batman, I've got to look at a few things. One is making sure that business is running smoothly so that I can afford to go and fight crime without too much worry. But ultimately it's my physical fitness and my fighting ability. Now, I've done a little bit of boxing in the army, but ultimately I want to take up a new sport and I want to be black belt in something. I want to have a black belt. So I took up judo, but Mr. Rab here has done judo before, which has spurred on a bit of a conversation, and which then created today's little insight, inspiration, reflections.
And what we were discussing was different techniques. Now we've spoken to people that either do judo, jiu-jitsu, whatever, and some of them when they're doing training, they're like, try not to use strength, try and just go for technique, which has got a lot of merit because you've got to learn a technique to be good, but there's a lot to be said for strength. And then we started discussing different tactics to winning in a bout.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the explosive strength where they use the strength and a high level technique, don't get me wrong, but at that comes a cost.
Yeah. So at the moment, I mean, I'm absolute beginner. I've been going I've had 4 sessions, 4 weeks, there's one a week, and I'm the only white belt in the class. My only advantage is I've got a little bit of strength behind me, therefore that's exactly what I'm going to use when we're doing a few kind of movements and we're trying to get the better of each other. But what these black belts are saying, and David especially, he's a young lad, black belt, he's the main coach who's taking us through things. He's fantastic, and he's like, look, your strength is great, but it's all about movement, and he's like 20 kilograms lighter than me, and you'd get me every single time. It's because I'm very rigid. I'm kind of always trying to protect myself. I'm trying to use this strength. So when we were discussing it, we realised that this was a metaphor for life, because Rab was then explaining what we should do instead of just using strength all the time, although strength is important, which is part of what we said.
Yeah, so the two sides of the coin is either explosive strength, they go for the quick win, hulk your way through it almost with technique, or bide your time, let the other person sort of gas a little bit, and then go for the gradual gaining of position, wear them out, and then get the win. And both have their merits. And we were discussing in which situations you would and wouldn't do that, and then we're thinking about that in life. Like, when do you go explosive, short, sharp, and when do you play the long game?
Yeah, and I think ultimately what this came down to is if you do have that explosive power ability in judo, then it's actually better to be as fluid and as effortless as possible, manoeuvring your body, and then when you see the opening and something that you want, then you go for the power, short, sharp burst of energy. And this is exactly what we're talking about for life. You know, you should be going around your life with ease. Life should be easy, it should be enjoyable, it should be fun. But every now and again you'll see something that you want, something that you need to take action on, and that's where you need your short, sharp burst of power.
So as Stephen's talked about there, be fluid. You know, the opposite of that's being rigid, intense. And in judo there's a term, I think it's called jigate or jigatai, and it's defensive posture, but the person kind of gets really, really tense. And you burn a lot of energy doing that. There's a lot of muscles tense that keep you in the same spot. And you have to think in life, when you're tense in life and you dig your heels in, like what are you achieving? Eventually you're going to tire. You'd be as well staying nice and fluid, changing direction, attacking it in your own way, rather than being on the defensive, tense, and just ultimately you'll gas out in the end.
You will wear yourself out physically, mentally, and emotionally if all you're doing is resisting against life, which in judo is then your opponent. If you're resisting against life constantly, trying to fight your way out of every single situation, you will tire. You'll just become this drained person with no energy for then the decisions that you need to make. Save the power, save the energy for when the situation requires it most.
So you either bide your time and go explosive, or play the long game and know when to strike. But regardless, you've got to be fluid. You cannot be tense at any point, because even the fittest person will tire if they're tense.
So go with the flow, be nice and fluid, easy, know how to live your life, and then strike when the situation calls for it.
Judo, chuck! Ah!